Hello everybody, welcome to the Daily Brick. My name is Nick, and today we are looking at set number 21352, The Magic of Disney. This does come out of the LEGO Ideas line rather than the LEGO Disney line, so it is definitely different. You can see a bunch of different build techniques that are used really well on this. A lot of people were kind of iffy when it did come out. It did retail for $100, and it is still on shelves at the LEGO store and here at the Daily Brick. So this is one of those sets that you are going to have a little bit of trouble putting together if you are not careful. There are going to be a lot of really intricate build techniques that are kind of loosely put together on this. You do see a bunch of different kind of wave builds in there, so it looks really cool. It looks like Mickey is actually parting the waters just like he does in Fantasia. There are references to, I believe, 5 or 6 different Disney films in here, all classic Disney, so they are going to be represented from the early ages of Disney all to modern Disney, which is really cool. You have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films represented here, and you're going to count the Sorcerer Mickey as the Fantasia side of things, as well as the brooms with the buckets of water. To start on the top left of the build, we're going to look at Geppetto. Geppetto is from Pinocchio. He is on that little raft that he builds in the actual film. He just came up from the whale. He does have a brush in his hand with the blue on the edge, so that's actually pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen one of those paintbrushes in blue before. There are some printed tiles on the little raft that he's on, just 1x4 printed tiles with wood and nails in there, and you have a little brick-built sail right behind him. On Mickey's left, our right, you do have 3 of the brooms holding buckets of water, and they are marching down the stairs, and you can see some water underneath the 3rd broom, and that is going to be really cool, just because they are throwing that water over and over again, and you do have the wave underneath them, so it works perfectly in the dichotomy of the set. Underneath that, you do have Sebastian and Flounder from, obviously, The Little Mermaid. They do have their molds right there that are really good with that really good printing along both Sebastian and Flounder. We will take a closer look at them. On Mickey's right-hand side, right underneath Geppetto, you have Lilo surfing on a wave, and Lilo is using a 1x2 brick as her legs with printing on it, rather than the legs that we just got for the Lilo in the Lilo and Stitch house. Heading back to the other side, we are going to go with Encanto. This is going to be Bruno. Bruno is the only Encanto minifig that we have ever gotten before. We have gotten plenty of mini dolls, ranging from Mirabelle to the rest of the family, but again, this is the very first time we're getting a minifig in an Encanto, any sort of relation to that film. It does have Casa Madrigal in the background, and you do have some trees hanging up there in the top, and you also have Bruno's rats. That is one of the rats that helps him listen through the walls, which is really funny. In the center, we have Belle, and Belle has a different printing than the one that just came out in the Beauty and the Beast castle, so this one is going to be exclusive to this set. It does have the dress printing down there on the bottom and the back as well. She has really good torso printing, but in her little build, you can see the ballroom floor with a really beautiful stained glass window piece, and that is going to show the rose on there, and the rose is standing right next to her in the glass case as usual. On the other side, right next to Belle, you do have Simba representing the Lion King, which is such a good selection of different films that they decided to represent in this set. The Lion King does show Pride Rock right there with some African savanna trees, and you also have down at the bottom, it looks like it could potentially be micro builds of different animals as Simba runs along the edge of Pride Rock up there at the top. The build for Mickey is very intricate. I do really like the shaping that they were able to get. The ears and the head look pretty good, and I love that they were able to put the sorcerer hat on top of him. The red of his coat is very vibrant. It's just normal Lego red, but it works so well with all the other colors in this set, and his arms are using those 2 pieces connected to tires that give him the sleeve-like feel for his gloves, and his gloves are also brick built. On his face, he does have a 2x4 slanted tile brick, that kind of combination piece of his eyes, and he also does have some printing up top on the sorcerer hat just to give him the stars and the moon that he has in the actual film. The curvature for his face is a little set in. His nose does come out quite a bit, but it does in real life as well, so it does kind of make sense that they were able to do that. The forward-facing Mickey is definitely something that they had to nail, and they did a pretty good job. A lot of people were complaining about the different shapes on his face, but I honestly don't even mind. I think it looks really good. The size for $100 might not be as worth it. I think that there should have been at least a few more figs included if you were going to put it at that price, but I think for what you're getting and the different films being represented throughout the different years of Disney is really, really good. For the minifigs, we're going to go from year to year, so we will start with the earliest fig in the lineup, and that is going to be Geppetto. Geppetto comes from the 1940 Disney film Pinocchio, as you all know. He is holding a blue paintbrush, so I've never actually seen that paintbrush in the blue color, so it is very cool to get. His legs do not have any printing on them. It's just going to be a black pair of legs. On the torso, he does have back torso printing, sort of giving him that dark red vest that he does have in the film, as well as blue arms that do sort of poke out on the sides there that do represent the undershirt that he has on. And then underneath that vest that he is wearing in the dark red, you can see the light bright blue color being used for the torso, and he does have a little belt with some embroidery on there. For the face print, he does have two faces. You can see on the front side he has a big smile, and if you take his hair off, he does have a worried face, and that is going to be probably when he is being eaten by the whale. The hairpiece is in white, and this is the hairpiece that Shaggy from Scooby-Doo uses, and I'm pretty sure that was the very first minifig to ever have that hairpiece. It works super well on the Geppetto fig. I think that they got the hair perfectly from the character in the film. I'll show you an actual photo of him just so you can see the comparison, because he does look very accurate. Up next, we have something that is not a real minifig, and it is not actually counted as a minifig on the fig count when you look at Bricklink or Lego.com, but this is one of the magical brooms that brings the buckets of water. I thought it would be fitting since it is part of Fantasia. You can see that the arm pieces are just those two arm clip pieces, which work really, really well, and they are holding the buckets, and the buckets don't actually have any water in them. It's just for looks, but I think that the broom piece at the bottom is perfect, and to give these little personified brooms actual figures for the set is just fantastic. Up next, we have Sebastian and Flounder. Both of these molds do originate from Lego Friends, the different princess lines that the mini dolls have, but the molds still work really well in minifig scale. I think that the printing on Flounder is very, very good. I love the blue and the dark blue along the spine of his back fin, as well as the fin all the way on his back. You can see is in that azure color. I think that the printing on the eyes is perfect, and for Sebastian, he only has one print, that being his eyes, the big eyes that he does have in the film, and you can see his lips there are molded perfectly too, and he does actually have two pincers that can hold on to any bar piece. Up next, we have Belle from Beauty and the Beast. She does have a very nicely printed dress piece down there at the bottom. You can see there's printing on the front and the back, which I love that they have started to do that recently, especially with these dress pieces where they actually do have real big dresses, just like in the films, and the printing lines up really well with the torso. The torso has printing on both the back and the front. The dress in yellow is just perfect, and I love that we're finally getting more Belle minifigures. She does have dual molded arms with the tan color. No, she does have dual molded arms with nougat and the light bright yellow as the gloves, and that works perfectly. I love the different variations of the color there. She does have two face prints, that being one with a smile and then the other one with an open mouth smile, so you can see her teeth there. And the hair mold is one that we've had for Belle for a little while, and it works perfectly. Both a mix of her sort of her town look and her princess look. Up next, we have the first and the only molded part for Simba ever. I love the printing on his face. I think that the kind of a smirky face works perfectly for Simba, and I love it in this bright light orange color. Up next, we do have Lilo from Lilo and Stitch. We're getting into more of the modern age of Disney when it was still 2D, but we're just on the precipice of 3D animation. She does have a 1x2 brick at the bottom that matches up with the printing on her dress very well, but it is not legs. There are no legs included for Lilo here. She's using the Pocahontas hair that did come in the Disney 100 CMF, and she does have printing all along the back and front of her torso that worked really, really well compared to the other Lilo that we did just get for the Lilo and Stitch house. I think that the new one is kind of lacking compared to this one. I do really appreciate that her hair is in this motion kind of place. She does have a flower in her hair as well. You take her hair off, and she does have an alternate face print right there on the back, her kind of scrunching up her face and sticking her tongue out, so that is really funny, and it is a good face to have when she's on the surfboard. Next, and finally in this set, we do have the man that we are not supposed to talk about, the one that we are strictly forbidden from talking about. This is Bruno from Encanto. This is going to be the only minifig from Encanto that we have ever gotten. Yes, we've had mini dolls before, but Bruno is the first and only minifig in this style, so this is really, really cool to see. He does have probably the most intricate printing out of all of the minifigs here. He does have brown legs with some printing that allow that tunic that he's wearing to go all the way down to his knees. He does have bright lime green as his torso color, and he's got some really intricate patterns up and down there. His face print is very generic. I love that, though. It looks just like Bruno. You take his hair off, and he does have his hair piece on the back that kind of makes him look like he's having a vision, which is just fantastic. I love the green eyes there. You can kind of use that for a Green Lantern if you were to ever make your own custom Green Lantern. His hair piece is very simple. It is just going to be just like that, and it's kind of like the parted hair down the side. He is holding a 1x2 tile that is the Madrigal house when it is being destroyed towards the end of the film. Overall, the Magic of Disney set is one to remember. The amount of figs and buildable characters in this set are really worth the price. I think $100 really isn't that much asking when it comes to this set and the amount of pieces and, again, minifigs and buildable characters that you do get. I love the different use of colors and different uses of pieces. I think everything comes together really, really well. The only nitpick I have is going to be the shaping of Mickey. I really think that that's the only thing that's not a super strong suit for this set, but other than that, it's very, very good. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.